Donald Trump, during his criminal trial, which we've now concluded, of course, the third week of it, he's kind of on edge. And all of those people around him, including his own family, see how on edge he really is, and they know that at any given moment, that man is going to blow up in that courtroom. So, for the last couple days, and according to reports, we can probably expect more of this in the coming weeks, Donald Trump has essentially had babysitters in that courtroom with him. The first babysitter to show up this past week was Eric Trump, his son. So Eric Trump shows up, he's sitting in the gallery in the courtroom, he's not necessarily interacting with his father, but he is there. So Trump knows that, okay, well, Eric's back here, so, I'm gonna keep it down. Eric's watching me, don't want to get too crazy. And then the next day, he had his good buddies, Boris Epshteyn, who of course recently got indicted in Arizona, and Texas Governor Greg Abbott, for some reason, showed up in New York to sit in the gallery. So Trump was a little more reserved. He understood, okay, I got my buddies back here. He did, as I had previously mentioned in another segment, he looked back at Epstein one time and shook his head in disgust at something his lawyer, Todd Blanche, had said. But these people showing up are not necessarily showing up just to show their support for Donald Trump. They're showing up, according to reports, as part of a more coordinated effort to make sure that Donald Trump does not blow up in the courtroom. Here's the best analogy I can offer for this. It's like you have a toddler, right? 3, 4 years old, their attention span not that great, but you want to take them to go see a movie. So you take them to the movies and for the first few minutes, they're into it. It's a good, cartoon type movie, but they get bored, right? If the movie gets a little slow, they get bored. And that's when they could, have a temper tantrum. They could start kicking the seat and doing all kinds of things. So you bring in other people with you, maybe grandparents come in, maybe the siblings are there a little bit older and they're like, hey, it's okay. Let's just watch this. That's what they're doing to Trump. They're treating him like a 3-year-old trying to sit through a movie to keep him calm. Now, we already know, and this is the part I love about this, that his lawyers are trying new tricks to try to keep him awake, right? The reports say they've given him big stacks of papers to look through. Again, kind of like a child at a restaurant. Like, here, you got your little kids menu you can color on. Look at all these papers. Oh, wow. That's a lot of papers, buddy. Can you handle it? They're not leaving him alone when they're doing the sidebar, so somebody can always be there with him to monitor him. And we are talking about a 77-year-old man who just a couple years ago had the nuclear codes. Okay? It's not like it's just a 77-year-old guy. This is a 77-year-old guy who a couple years ago was the most powerful person on the planet. And he is being treated like a toddler because he acts like a toddler. It still to this day blows my mind that conservatives can hear things like this, they can see these stories, they can read about them, and still say, nope, that is the epitome of manliness. He is a, sharp as a tack businessman. He is the best guy that ever lived. How can you say that about a man who has to be treated the same way my young niece has to be treated? That's just bonkers. But the reason that Trump supporters still support him even in spite of these stories, I should say, is because they don't read them. They don't see them. They don't know that these things are happening because they choose to bury their heads in the sand so that they don't have to listen to these valid reports about how horrible Donald Trump's behavior really is. So yeah, I guess if you're not paying attention to anything and you don't know that any of this is happening, it makes it a lot easier to support the man who can't be left alone for 2 minutes or else he may burn down the courtroom. Hey everybody, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we are closing in on a pretty major milestone here at Fair and Balanced as we approach 500,000 subscribers. But we're not there yet, and we definitely need your support. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, like and comment on the videos and share them as widely as possible.